What's up, fight fans? In today's video, the MMA community is buzzing over Conor McGregor's latest training footage, with critics slamming his speed, calling it too slow. Meanwhile, Henry Cejudo and Kamaru Usman couldn't believe their eyes when Henry's stolen UFC belt mysteriously appeared on eBay. Plus, Petr Yan is making waves, challenging Umar Nurmagomedov to a 5-round war, and Umar responded to the challenge immediately. Alexander Volkanovski just sparked a fire between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev, and the most intense moments of the UFC 314 presser just dropped. So without further ado, let's get started. Petr Yan has recently burst onto the scene, calling out Umar Nurmagomedov for a 5-round fight. It's unlikely anyone expected Yan himself to be the one provoking this clash. He said, "Let's do it in Baku or Abu Dhabi for 5 rounds. I want to fight for the belt. But right now, almost everyone in the top 5 to top 10 is booked. I have no desire to wait 6 months. Umar, I hope you've healed up those scratches." Let's go. Umar responded to the challenge immediately and was pleasantly surprised by it. Soon after, Umar clarified that he wouldn't rush his return, no matter how much I want it. I can only fight in October. Competing with an arm injury would be foolish. I'll return at 100%. If someone's in a hurry, no problem, we'll fight eventually. Rizvan Magomedov, Umar's manager, also weighed in on the potential bout. This fight could happen in Abu Dhabi in October. Umar is still recovering, so we don't have a firm return date yet. We initially targeted late summer, but his rehab is taking longer. We'll adjust based on his recovery. A fight with Yan makes sense. Umar is championship material. How else does he prove himself except by facing elite competition? However, Petr Yan responded to Umar's offer to fight in October in Abu Dhabi, saying Umar is not ready. I hope there will be a worthy challenge for June in Baku or July in Abu Dhabi.
I'm not interested in this one. Yeah, I know, but I'm just here.
With ex-UFC fighter Pete Chad Salo bluntly noting too slow. And in response to Conor's statement, one fan asked Conor, "Because you made the dude wait for 3 years, and you feel bad for him." Despite the criticism, some fans still believe in McGregor's Aura. One wrote, "Although Conor hasn't fought in 4 years, despite the fact he parties a lot, and he looks washed. I have never seen this dude in bad shape, but others are ready for a different path. No more fights. Ireland needs you."
What do you think of his presidential bid for Ireland?
I think you should vote. I think you should vote for Conor McGregor for president of Ireland if you're a resident of Ireland. No, I mean, I don't know. You don't know what's up with what Conor's thinking. It could just be a political stunt. Could just be for attention. Not a bad move if it is, and we'll see.
As you know, news broke this week about a break-in at Henry Cejudo's Phoenix home with his UFC championship belt among the stolen items. Oddly enough, both Henry and Kamaru Usman were shocked when the belt mysteriously resurfaced on eBay.
Are we looking at something on eBay right now? Is there... What? Hey, Henry, is this the belt that was stolen?
Nah, is it?
Henry Cejudo original UFC flyweight belt by DJ Mao or whatever that is. What is that? When was that posted? Can we find out exactly when?
Yeah, no, they're fucking with the... They're messing around.
12 hours? Selling DJ Mouse. Oh my god. What?
Yeah, no, they're fucking with this.
but is that belt? Is it the old style
yeah,
belt?
Yeah, it's
right
the
there?
old school belt. It's the old school belt. So you know that's the one that I beat. That's one that I beat from Demetrius Johnson, dude.
Yeah, by DJ Mouse.
But this isn't the first time Cejudo has been separated from it. Back in 2018, during a trip to Russia, he lost the exact same belt while traveling. At the time, it had mysteriously gone missing in transit, causing panic among his team and fans. Luckily, after some tense days and international coordination,
There it is. There it is. From Moscow to New York. And I finally got my Big Daddy. There you go. Don't you ever leave my sight again. You hear me? You hear me?
There you go, man.
I missed you. I missed her. And I appreciate it, bro.
No problem, bro. Anytime,
Thank
man.
you guys for everything.
No problem.
Thank you. Here it is.
There it is, right there.
Got my belt back.
In a recent interview, the former featherweight king Alexander Volkanovski called Ilia Topuria the biggest threat to reigning lightweight champion Islam Makhachev. While many still believe that Makhachev's grappling dominance is unmatched, Volkanovski, who went 5 hard rounds with Islam,
but Ilia has that power, and that's, you know, with like Islam, you know, he's going to move up.
Yeah, but does
people want to count him out? I'm like, I'm telling you, like, he's just as dangerous as anybody, you know, because of, you know, he's going to look for that chin, and he's going to, if he touches it, he can.
Well, we saw Islam get knocked out before.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and Ilia, if anyone can test that chin again, it's Ilia as well. So it's, you got to. I think that fight will happen.
That's what I was gonna say. Do you think he gets the title fight, and like, do you think he actually beats Makhachev?
The fact that he vacated,
because you fought them both.
Yeah, well, that's it, right? Like, people can ask you fought both. What do you think? I mean, it's pretty simple. If anyone looking at it, Ilia is that dangerous. The only way I see even Islam losing is someone catching him.
Mm-hmm.
Same with myself.
Yeah.
So, but who's got the best chance of doing that? Someone like Ilia.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a fun fight. I think, look, if it goes 25 minutes, it's all Islam. But there's a good chance Ilia can catch him because he's obviously got that very tidy boxing. Them earlier rounds, I think his takedown defense might help him a bit, and but them later rounds, what I thought he would struggle with Max, but he was able to put him out before then. Would be the same case with.
We're just a few days out from the next big UFC event, and there's a lot going on in Miami. In the main fight exchange, champ Alexander Volkanovski is trying to win back the featherweight title, and he's going up against Diego Lopez.
Thank you, gentlemen. See you tomorrow.
But Diego Lopez and Yair Rodriguez were really going at it during Thursday's press conference. Rodriguez and Lopez continued to go at it after the press conference and had to be held back from one another. And it wasn't just them. Also on the card, Bryce Mitchell versus Gene Silva.
Thank you, Jim. Good luck tonight.
Because look, this is the UFC, but the fans still act like it's WWE. They pick who's goody, who's the baddie, who's the good guy, who's the heel. And right now you're in that position to just relish in it and everything else and go for the win. I'm gonna go Bryce. Because of the experience. But look, I will not be surprised if John goes in there and just does work. Because Bryce, good striker, but sometimes when he's striking, he can't manage the distance properly. He starts to shoot from a distance that isn't really gonna get the most success. And Jean, even from that little clip, I love the way he manages his distance. He was able to just find it. Yeah. And right now there's a little bit of beef. It's kind of cool to see because it's gonna get them heated up. But just off experience, I'm gonna go Bryce because he's been in there with some of the best. And even though he's lost, it's just experience. And Bryce is no joke, man. But I won't be surprised if John takes this one out. But official bet, I'm gonna go Bryce Mitchell. Method of victory, I'm gonna go decision.
Max Holloway thinks Alexander Volkanovski is going to take the win over Diego Lopez.
There's only 2 ways I see this fight going. If Alex be the winner, I think he goes to vintage Alex, stick and move, pop shot, and enterprise leg kicks, maybe grapple, maybe against the fence, some dirty boxing against the fence, and he ekes out a decision, maybe a unanimous decision. Or if Diego wins, it's within the first 3 rounds, bro. I think Diego catches him. Diego likes to, bro. He starts like he comes at you, like 100 miles per hour, bro. He comes at you, and he's like crazy trained, He's like a train flying off the tracks, bro. He comes running at you, punching at you. So I think the most dangerous part for this fight is definitely the first 2 rounds for Volk, maybe 3. But if Volk go to vintage Volk, sticking and moving, leg kicking, being smart, you know, getting him against the cage, ground upon him, maybe even take him down here and there, you know. At the end of the day, I think Volk's recapture, but I can see Diego capturing it and catching Volk. But it's MMA. We see what happens.
Guys, it's mealtime. We got a cold 6-ounce New York strip with Romesco. And the tip on fight week that is a veteran move that a lot of people aren't willing to do is you take it cold, you dip it, and you eat it by hand. The only way you eat on fight week is to eat it by hand. Okay? You're not sitting down, you're not dining, you're not making an experience. You get the food, you dip it, nice and cold. Just came out of the refrigerator. Cold, a little bit hard, makes you feel alive. Makes you feel a little bit like an animal. Makes you feel like you're about to go inside that cage and rip someone's face off. Cold steak. God bless. See you at the top.
Ian Gary recently revealed who he thinks was the toughest opponent he's faced in the UFC.
My hardest opponent was Jeff Neal. Reason being is the guy hits like a truck and he's an absolute unit of a man. We wait in California. You have to mandatory test your weight again the night of the fight. So you have to stand on the scales in your boxes the night of the fight so they can check the rehydration. I was like 182 or something ridiculously light because I didn't want to gain a lot of weight. I wanted to be fast, like a hummingbird. Jeff Neal was 202 pounds. The guy was an absolute machine. I hit him in that fight clean. I kneed him in the face like 6 times clean. I've seen people drop like a sack of spuds all across the world, like they've been shot when I kicked him in the body. I kicked that man as clean as a clean get, and he went, ugh. And I knew at that moment it was going to be a long night. He was by far my toughest opponent mentally and physically in that octagon.
I'm here at Gregor's house in Miami, and he built this hyperbaric chamber with a gym in here so we can work out. He can do conference calls in here. He can film his podcast in here. It's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I gotta have one.
Hit it if you subscribed, and don't forget to drop a like.